story of India's independence is not only about larger-than-life figures or big events. It's also a story of the everyday ordinary people who do not feature in history textbooks, TV shows or movies. Museum objects help one explore these stories. So for this season of Art Sparks, we invited some of our friends from other departments at MAP to choose an object from the collection and share their independence story, whether by looking closely at it, asking questions of it, or even challenging what it tells us. This is Through the Looking Glass, where history comes alive.
Hey there, my name is Surya and I'm from the events team at the Museum of Art and Photography in Bengaluru. I have no formal education or experience in art or art history. However, my background in journalism and political science equipped me with some skills, tools and frameworks using which I began to explore the museum's collection. And along the way, I have started to enjoy the process of appreciating art, which is exactly what I will try to do here today with my chosen artwork from the MAP collection. Let's look closely at this for a minute. I can guess that this is a photojournalistic shot and not a studio shot or a portrait, purely going by what I see. As I observe some more, certain elements immediately grab my attention. First, it's the form. What strikes me is how bottom-heavy this black and white image is. All the action is in the lower half, while the top half of the image is blank, depicting a vast sky. Next, I notice that some of the young men in the image are with a turban, and some of them are without. I see instances of Western dressing like shorts, coats, and closed shoes, alongside kurtas, dhotis, and open juttis. This is symbolic of the mixture of Desi and Western clothing traditions prevalent in India today, but it also makes me think of how this culture came into being and what lessons this image could give us about a particular historical moment. When I look even closer, I realize that each one of the young men actually has a distinct expression and body language as well. Some of them seem to be clapping with their hands raised in the air, while others seem to be taking off on a run. Is it possible that it is a vigorous activity of some sort? Is it a running race? The poses and postures are quite specific, and the photo is clearly taken mid-action. So it seems like the photographer's aim was to not only capture the specificity of the moment, but also to use this moment to convey a broader narrative or the wider context. The photo thus represents the essence of an event through a fleeting and spontaneous action. Photographer Cartier-Bresson coined the term decisive moment. This means that a photographer captures an image in a fraction of a second when the subjects and their actions magically align with the framing, the lighting, angle, and all the other elements to produce a unique shot frozen in time. While the decisive moment may be a fancy term coined by an iconic photographer, it is not uncommon for regular people like us to also click such images. For example, think about the time when you clicked an image of a cake being smashed on a friend's face, or that hilarious expression that you captured when someone was giving a speech or reacting to a joke. And as far as India's history goes, there is no greater decisive moment than the period around 1947, the year our nation gained independence from the British Raj. Bresson arrived in India in 1948, just a year into the most critical moment for the country. He had unprecedented access to several tall leaders of the freedom movement, including the likes of Pandit Nehru and Mahatma Gandhi. As the nation grew and leaders like Nehru and Gandhi gained global respect, Bresson's place as a pioneer in the history of Indian photojournalism was cemented. Now, to come back to the image that we began with, we now know that this image is from Bresson's visit to India around the same time. This is in fact an image of partition refugees in a camp of Haryana. I was born and raised in Bengaluru, the capital of Karnataka state in southern India, and I rarely ever heard of partition. It was only when I myself migrated to Delhi that I learned so much about this momentous period of Indian history. By engaging with artworks and objects in museums, we can learn so much about our country, its people, its history and heritage. This photograph nuances our idea of the period by humanizing it and portraying the lives of ordinary people and their daily activities. It encourages us to pause and wonder about where each one of these people came from. Where did they go? Whom did they love? What were their dreams and aspirations? And eventually, how did their lives turn out? Is there something you spotted in the artwork that I may have missed out? Let us know via the form in the description box. Also check out our website, social media handle and subscribe to our YouTube channel to get regular updates on other ArtSparks videos. Thank you for joining me. Goodbye.